Okay, this is a hollow pointer ball ammo part 2. So, the things I covered so far, and again, bullet ballistics and all that it's almost like a whole class, and I'm trying to make these videos a little bit like you're going to a class or you're taking a course on different aspects of guns, bullets, etc. Now, a rifle round is longer, so it has more powder. More powder means a faster bullet. A faster bullet means deeper penetration. It means I can reach out and touch somebody at a distance better than a pistol. Remember I said a pistol was a defensive weapon versus an offensive weapon. I'm pretty sure this gun is cleared, but just for GP. So, because this is a defensive weapon, I'm going to not try and take out a target that's 100 yards away. Can I? Sure. If you practice with a gun and you learn, there's a thing called Kentucky windage that you'll hear in guns. And Kentucky windage is a long time ago. Back in Kentucky when I used to hunt, I'm not sure the complete origin of it, but I'm assuming it comes from Kentucky. It's called Kentucky windage. It's what you do when you're adjusting for the wind and for gravity, because as a bullet flies, gravity takes it down, okay? The longer it travels, the more it drops. The slower it's going, the faster it drops. The faster it's going, the slower it drops. The more heavy it is, it can drop faster or it could go further. If a heavy bullet has more speed, it will go farther straight because it's not affected by the wind, the temperature, the moisture, and all the other stuff. If a bullet is light, it is more affected by little things like wind, heat, rain, moisture. So, depending on how far you're shooting, depending on the conditions you're shooting, that's why I always say bigger and faster is better. The bigger the bullet, the faster you can push it, the less you take out all other factors, and the more that speed and energy transfers to your target. We used to, when I was in a SWAT team in Hawaii, in the Air Force, Hawaii had the only full-time SWAT team. And when we used to go out training, we would go out and we would test different bullets from different guns on like cans of tomatoes or cans of beans. And I'm sure somebody's going to say that was wasteful for food and they're starving children. And sorry. We did it, it's gone. I'm sure, you know, the birds and the bugs got to eat all the stuff that we were blowing up. But anyway, we were testing to see what happened when you shot different things. Well, people who have shot guns have shot things for years that blow up and explode. And it depends on what you're shooting on how the bullet forms. If we shot a bucket of water with nothing on top and we shot that, the faster the bullet was traveling, the higher the water splashed. Why? Because that secondary cavity, it was going so fast through that water, it pushed that water out of the way so fast it made water fly high. But if we shot it with like a 45, because it was a heavier, slower bullet, it went right through the water, right through both sides of the bucket, the water drained out, and we didn't get the large splash as if we shot it with a faster bullet. Conversely, this is a bucket that was open. If we had a bucket that was closed and we put a lid on it, when we shot that water had no place to go, so it built up more pressure and it shot the lid really high. Well, that's because that pressure that was trying to be released from the splash caused the lid to go higher. Now, when we shot a can, like a can of tomatoes, I know it was gruesome, looked all red. It's a cop thing. But anyway, it looked pretty cool because when we shot this can of tomatoes, man, it just exploded because of how fast. When we shot it with a rifle, it exploded really quick because the velocity was going through this closed container. And it wasn't like we had a lid that could pop off. This was a compressed container, so when it blew good. Now, and I'm sure if you go to YouTube, I'm sure there's videos where they're shooting cans and cantaloupe and oranges. We would shoot fruit, and if it was a soft fruit, like a grapefruit, a lot of times we'd put it we'd set it on top of a fence post or something, and we'd shoot it. It wouldn't even knock it over. You'd shoot it with a gun, and the grapefruit would not even fall off, and it'd be like, wow. The reason why it was a softer tissue and the bullet just basically tunneled through and went through. There wasn't enough mass in a grapefruit to cause the bullet to transfer that mass and to push it back. And when we were working with guns in California, we were doing training on the range, we would put old bulletproof vests, because we get new bulletproof vests after a while. After a while, bulletproof vest gets sweaty, it gets wet, it gets in the rain, you're throwing it around, and as you move all those fibers, it weakens it. So the manufacturers recommend you replace them because of use. They're not as effective. They're still pretty damn effective for a long time. If you can buy a used old bulletproof vest, it's pretty good. So we would put bulletproof vests on a chair, and we would shoot it, and we would think it would knock the chair over, and it didn't. That one bullet, you know, the Hollywood where a guy gets shot and he flies back 20 feet, doesn't really work. Now, if you shot somebody with maybe a 50 caliber and he had a bulletproof vest with a metal plate that was strong enough to stop, and I'm not sure how thick that would have to be, but it's pretty damn thick because a 50 caliber tears up everything. All that energy from a 50 caliber bullet and whatever the weight is transferred to the object, it would probably throw somebody back pretty far. Because when you shoot like a cinder blocks and things, it just chews up everything. Trucks, it makes big, I mean, it's a destructive weapon because it's a large, massive bullet traveling very fast. I think the longest recorded kill with a 50 caliber is over a mile long, and I think the guy aimed for the forehead and he hit him in the nose, or he aimed for the eyes and hit him in the mouth. So the bullet only dropped that much over a mile, which is really incredible because, I mean, a bullet drops at 50 feet with a pistol, your bullet's dropping several inches, if not a foot. And the farther out you go, the more it drops. If I'm shooting a pistol at 300 yards, this bullet's dropping a lot. I'm gonna, if you're the target and I'm shooting you at this range, I can aim right here. If I'm shooting you at 300 yards, I'm aiming probably here. And I'm gonna drop the bullet in. In the military, they call that plunging fire. You're dropping fire in. If my bullets can't hit you straight, I'm gonna shoot high and let the bullets fall on you like rain, and we're gonna plunge from multiple targets and plunge around. So if this is my target, and we have 3 or 4 guys, all of us are gonna shoot our rounds here and drop rounds in. Because if we shoot straight at our target, our bullets are gonna fall before they hit it. So by raising the elevation, Kentucky windage, we get longer distance of our bullets. So, so anyway, shooting the bulletproof vest, it didn't knock the chair over because we weren't transferring enough energy. I can't remember, we shot it with a shotgun, and I think a shotgun with a double-aught buck didn't knock the chair over, but a slug did. And we'll get into shotgun. I'm kind of sticking with rounds right now, but we'll get into shotgun rounds as far as double-aught buck, 9 pellets versus a solid steel thing. Hollow point versus round ammo. In some of my guns, I have them alternated. I have a hollow point and a thing. When I carried a shotgun in my police car, I always had my bullets alternated. I'd have a double-aught buck first, because I figured the first round would be an oh shit, boom, so I want 9 pellets scattering out. But my second round was a slug, because I was going to be able to take a breath, aim, and make sure to take my target down with a 1-ounce slug. Some people carry 4 double-aught buck with 1 slug at the last one for their last round. It doesn't matter, but you can alternate ball and hollow point. You can carry both. Hollow points, if you get into it, there's a lot of different hollow points. Remember, the lighter the bullet, if you got a gun, a 45, excuse me, a 45, the heaviest bullet, you might be able to get higher, but the heaviest factory round you're going to get is 230 grains. That bullet's 230 grains. Now, this bullet, if I'm pushing that much weight, 230 grains, I'm going to get so much speed out of this bullet. So I've either got to increase the powder in the bullet in order to get more speed, or more distance, or more accuracy, or less drop. All those things are kind of interchangeable. Or I can lighten the bullet. If I keep the same powder in here and I've got a 230 grain bullet and I drop this to an 85 grain bullet, guess what? This bullet gets a lot faster. Because the same powder is pushing less weight. Almost 1/3 of the weight, so therefore, you bet you it's going to speed up. It's going to be going a lot faster. What does faster do? Gives you a bigger secondary target. So by getting an 85 grain bullet versus a 230, I get the same size primary cavity, which is nice for a 45. I get the same size primary, but I increase my speed and I get a faster secondary or a bigger secondary because of my speed. So, is lighter better or heavier better? I'm a big heavy. I want a fast 230 grain bullet. Now, it's harder to get that, and it's harder to get the weapon to put that much powder in a bullet to make a 230 grain bullet go as fast as an 85 grain bullet. You're putting more pressure in the barrel. The round, when you see a plus P round, that means plus pressure. I say it's plus powder. They put more powder in. But now they have powder that you can put less in, but it burns quicker, so it gives you more velocity. So bullets and reloading is a complete another chapter, but I'm trying to get you a basic understanding of bullets, their performance, should you choose, so you can have a basic knowledge when you go out and buy a bullet, because you're going to have somebody say, oh, buy this is a great round, this is a great round. Most factory ammo is pretty good. If you get a factory hollow point, you're going to be doing okay. Federal, Winchester, one of the major brands, Remington, you're going to be okay. I would probably just get hollow point because, again, a gun is a defensive weapon. Most of the people watching this video and trying to learn about guns is probably not going to use it and be hunting, doing tactics, going out, searching, clearing, doing all that. So their primary use is going to be what I call an oh shit gun. It's going to be, you know what, I got no other choice. I'm put in a situation, I got to defend my life. I'm pulling out and using it. In that situation, most shootings happen between 10 and 12 feet. 15 feet is really long. So if you're talking 10 to 12 yards, 10 to 12 feet, it's pretty, doesn't really matter what your bullet is. I mean, if you got a hollow point, you're going to be okay. Hopefully that gives you a little bit better understanding on bullets. Again, this is probably the third video I've done on bullets. They're only 15 minutes each, but still, there's so much that I haven't covered. If you want to understand and learn bullets, there's so much information on the internet. Go ahead and research velocity, hollow point, best round, worst performing round. Go out there and read and educate yourself. I can't pass on everything, but I can hopefully get you in the right direction if I spark some interest and you go out there and read and study and watch the internet or do what you want to do. Confirm. Don't take one source from anybody. Don't take me as one source. Don't take the internet as one source. I mean, you can have multiple sources on the internet, but don't get caught up into confirming what you want to believe, because it's very easy to do. There's so much information. If I believe something, and in my horse channel I cover this a lot, whatever's popular, it's a lot easier to find information on what's popular. Doesn't necessarily make it good or best. So look and challenge yourself. Critical thing, I always say college isn't about making somebody smart. It's about making them realize there's so much to know about something that you have to learn to critical think. You have to learn to question. You have to learn to do research to confirm what you believe, what you're being told, what you read, or what you saw. Nothing is what it seems. 2 is always 1, 1 is none. We'll get into that later. I'm at about 14 minutes here. I need to heat my coffee up. It got a little cold because I was yapping. And that's part 2 of hollow point versus ball ammo. Hope that helps. We'll end that there.